What's up everybody, welcome back to No Counters, No Combos, and today I'm actually bringing you a heavily requested deck profile. I'm glad you guys have been enjoying the commentary videos that we put up on the channel featuring gameplay from our locals and stuff, so thank you guys so much for the feedback. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the commentary and how we do it here. There's been a lot of requests to see an updated version of the Saiyan deck. Now, I just want to preface this before I start the video. The build I'm going to show you right now is the build that was used in the most recent Battle Chamber video, which was Saiyan against Ginyu. But it is no longer the build that I currently use competitively in the meta today. I've actually gone away from playing blue in the deck and is just solely focused on making it a red-black variant. So I obviously, of course, I'm going to show you guys the deck that you requested, but moving forward, if you guys want to see another updated Saiyan deck that's just red-black, just let me know in the comment section below if you want to see that, and I will make it happen. So without further ado, we are getting into the leader here, Saiyan. He's one of the more powerful leaders in set 3. He has a great ability. If you guys don't know what he does, once per turn you can send the top 3 cards from your deck to the drop. If you reveal a black card, he gains critical, and any other color he gains 5,000. So one red card or one black card and one of any other color will give him 15k crit for the duration of the turn, which is really good because it helps you put pressure on your opponent, and he can put a pressure on awakened leaders while he's unawakened. So he awakens at 4 or less life, draws 2 cards, which is obviously, in my opinion, is better than untapping 2 or getting a card from the warp. So he's one of those old school leaders that draws 2 when he awakens. But his backside is the same as the front, except he has the auto now that when he attacks, he draws a card. Now, when you guys use Saiyan's effect, like let's say you're at 4 or less life, before you awaken, you can mill the top 3 to gain 15k crit. Awaken, the gain of the power carries over, so he'll be a base 20k on the awakened side, and you can activate the effect once again to try to give him plus 5k in critical, which would make him a 25k crit on the turn that he awakens, which is very, very strong because him by himself, he puts pressure without having to combo. So he's one of my favorite leaders this set. He's the deck that I've been using since day one, since he's been available. So let's show you guys the variant you guys have all been waiting for, which is the blue red black variant. So for starters, we're going to show off the blue first. We have 4 of the Encouraging Presence Monaka. Now, I've always liked this card since it's come out, and it did see a lot of play in the Mecha Frieza decks because it was a self-awakening card for that leader. But Monaka is very good in leader heavy decks, and what I mean by that is decks that focus on their leaders for alpha strikes. So I did use this in a Vegeta deck previously because Vegeta was similar to the Saiyan with the critical, but the reason he's good is because you play it for 1 blue energy, you get to draw a card, and your leader gets double strike till the end of the turn. So essentially you're playing 8 double strike Champas. He doesn't get any attack boost, which, you know, that's why you kind of want to use him more towards the early game. But Saiyan himself does gain 5k when he mills a colored card. So I like using Monaka because it replaces itself with the draw one, and it also gives you double strike for your leader. So it does put pressure on your opponent. The next blue card I use is for Senzu Bean. Senzu Bean is very, very good because it restands energy. The plus 5,000 power is good. But the main reason people use Senzu Bean, in my opinion, is to restand energy, which extends their plays. Now, in this deck, Senzu Bean is essentially thrives rather because you play such little energy in this deck because your cards are of such low cost. So you can use Senzu Bean to restand the energy you've used and just recycle the same energy from multiple cards. That's what makes Senzu Bean so good with Saiyan. Because the 1 blue energy that you charge to play the deck, you can restand it with Senzu Bean, or the 2 red energies that you'll have, you can just constantly restand them to use your other cards. And then the last blue card I play is for Whist Coercion. This is just a 12 card blue engine. The reason I play Whist Coercion is because it was the 12th card for the blue engine. But also it's still probably arguably the best negate in the game because it's essentially free. I did mention before with Sensor Beam, you only need to play one blue energy. So you play the one blue energy to be able to turn on your Whist Coercion, and it's free negates, which can help you in the late game because this deck does not put a lot of threats on board for your opponent to attack. So basically, they're going to be swinging at your leader every turn. So that's why I chose to play those 12 blue cards. Now we're going to get into the complementary color, which is red. So for the red, we're playing 3 Saiyan Kaba. Saiyan Kaba is a very good 1-drop. I'm only playing 3 because the ratios and the deck space is very tight when you're trying to coordinate with 2 different colors. But primarily, you would probably want to play whatever off color you're playing with Mass Saiyan. You want to max out on all copies of that card, just to make sure that the ratios are good. But Kaba, when he first came out, was more of an early game threat to do self-harm and then do double strike. But because this deck does so much pressure early game with the leader and with a couple other cards you're going to see in a few minutes, he becomes a very good late game threat. A double strike Champa late game after your opponent has exhausted their resources comboing out of all your other attackers or burning their negates. If you just summon this Saiyan Kaba and they only have like 2 or 3 cards in their hand, you're going to win. So I like using Saiyan Kaba as a late game threat. The next red card we have is 3 of the Topo here. Topo is great because he's essentially a 2-drop negate, but he's a 20k body that when he kills a battle card, he restands. So I like him better than Jiren because Jiren is a lot more expensive, having to play 4 energy. Topo can be brought out for 2. And because Mass Saiyan increases his attack on the front side, as long as you have 2 red energies, you can still play this while he's unawakened, as long as he gets the pump that turn. And it's really good when your opponent's awakened and they're trying to swing for late game. You have 2 red energies open, you can use him as a negate, and it kind of sets them back a turn, and it puts an attacker on board for you for next turn, so you can continue to put pressure. That's why I like Topo. Topo, in my opinion, is better than Jiren right now. Then we have 3 Unbreakables. Unbreakable Spirit Goku is becoming one of the better combo cards in the game right now. Essentially, he's another super combo. For 1 energy, you gain plus 10,000 power, and you get to draw a card, so he replaces himself. It's a very, very good card. It's another red card, but obviously, I don't like to charge him as much. I like to use him as a combo card because it does replace itself, and you want to play your combos for value. So he has a great value because he replaces himself, but he's also giving you 10,000 power to do damage. He's a very, very good card. He should be a staple in any red deck. Then, of course, we play the obligatory 4 Double Strike Champa or Furthering Destruction Champa. This is your money card right here. This is the card that you want to see as early as possible. You want a hard mulligan for at least 1 of these every game because, honestly, you only need to get 1 off to make your opponent feel very, very small. 1 Double Strike Champa with a Mass Saiyan makes him 25,000 critical double strike. That is insane. So for only 1 energy, you tap it, you gain 10k power, and you gain double strike. It's such a great card. It's such a pressure card, and you have to run 4 because you have to see it. And the last red card I use is Planet M2. Planet M2 is such a great card. It's essentially a free 5k combo every turn because it's a field card, but it also clears away the little weenies. So if your opponent's playing the 1-drop Boos, Bulmas, or Kabas, you can tap this card, and it states that when you reduce a battle card, you reduce it 5,000. If it hits 0, it gets KO'd. So it can take out little guys on the field. I like to use this to take out little guys if they're not in rest mode. Like if they're active, I'll take them out because I know my opponent's going to use that as a combo. So essentially, I'm trading 5Ks. But if they're tapped out, like if they have a Saiyan Kaba on board that's in rest mode, I won't waste it because I know that they're not going to be able to combo with that card. So I'm just going to push damage onto their leader to reduce their leader by 5,000. Planet M2 is a very good card. Again, if you're playing red, find space for it. It's that good. And we'll round things up with the black cards. So we're playing 4 of the Supreme Kai Super Combo. Self-explanatory. I shouldn't have to explain what that card does. Then we're playing 3 Time Patrol Trunks. It's still one of the better overwhelms in the game. Being able to look at the top 2 card and manipulate or correct what card you're going to be able to use, whether it's a draw or a mill off the Mass Saiyan, it kind of helps you correct that to see what you're going to plus off of as far as either milling or drawing. And, you know, it's a 15k attacker, so it does put pressure on awakened leaders. But you can always use it for a combo if you need to. Then we have 3 Power Overseeing Time Trunks. This card is just... I can go on for hours about this card. It's just so good. I'm so surprised that this card didn't see play immediately when it was released and people were favoring over the Killer Sword Trunks. Guys out there watching, anybody watching this video, this card is 1,000 times better than Killer Sword Trunks in every way possible. Oh, what are you talking about? Killer Sword Trunks is great because... Well, no, just stop. This card is way better. Yes, it does cost 2 energy to overwhelm it, but you're going to have the 2 energy open to play this card. And it adds a card from your warp to your hand. It doesn't put it on board, it adds it to your hand, but it's any battle card, okay? It doesn't have to be 3 or less like Killer Sword Trunks. You can add your super combos. You can add literally any battle card. And this guy is a 20k double strike. So it's going to put pressure on your opponent. And the reason I like him so much more than Killer Sword Trunks is because I don't have to tap out to play him. 9 times out of 10, when you play Killer Sword Trunks, you're going to overwhelm for any other Trunks. So probably Unrelenting Assault, because that one's essentially a free overwhelm every turn. You're going to swing with that, then you're going to Xeno Evolve and tap 4 to play it. If you're playing against yellow or green, 9 times out of 10, you're going to go for a Haru, which is going to restand those energies. That's cute, but 9 times, you know, you're not going to always be playing against that. So what happens when you play a red deck? You're just going to stay tapped out. If you tap out, you lose in this game. So that's why I like this Trunks over Killer Sword. Then we're going to get into 3 of the Mira from the Darkness. This card's still very good. It's another critical attacker. I like my first turn play. I like to use a double strike Champa on the leader after the mill effect. That puts exactly 4 cards in my drop. Then I warp for him for 1 more critical damage. So I just did 3 damage critical. My opponent does not gain hand advantage. At the end of the turn, he goes to the warp. I now have 5 cards in my warp to turn on my super combos. It doesn't happen as often as I'd like it to, but that is my optimal turn 1 or 2 play. Because I want to get 5 cards in warp, 3 damage to my opponent without them gaining any of those cards in their hand. And Mira allows me to do that. Then we have 3 Mass Saiyan. It's from the special pack of set 3. This card is so good. You overwhelm for 4. You tap 1 energy. When he comes out, you take a life, and you get to destroy 1 of your opponent's battle cards of cost up to 5. So, 5 or less, rather. But he takes out blockers, which is really good. The other Mass Saiyan is still a very, very good card. But the fact that he doesn't take out blockers does kind of hurt a little bit. Because this card can take out apes if King Vegeta is not on the board. So it can take out blockers. Great card. Self-harm. You kind of need self-awakening in this deck to a point. So you want to play this guy for sure. Then we're winding down. I have 2 of the Awakening Warrior Bardock. This card is so good. He's a free, essentially, overwhelm for 4. 20k double striker. Late game pressure is very important in this game. But he's also your only Xeno Evolve target for this Bardock. I love this card because it gets around Barrier and it gets around Apes. But honestly, having to wait till turn 5 or 6 to play it, you're never going to get there. If you're waiting to turn 5 or 6 to play this card, you're not playing the deck the right way. You should be blowing your opponent out by like turn 3 or 4 the latest. Turn 5 the latest. But you're not going to tap out to play this card because it's not smart. If you do get this off, it's very, very good. But I love this card. Bardock is one of my favorite characters. But honestly, I think it's time for me to just part ways with this guy. So yeah. But essentially, for right now, it still works. So if you have the room for it and you don't mind waiting to get to turn 5 or 6 to play it, Go ahead. It's definitely a good win condition. And then my last black card is Dark Plot. Dark Plot, I hated this card in the beginning, but now I absolutely love it, and I'll tell you why. I love Dark Plot because... Excuse me one second. I love Dark Plot because of this Trunks. And the reason I love it because of this Trunks is simply because he is a 20k double striker. And that's like his permanent like effect. His auto or his auto triggers when he's overwhelmed. So when he's overwhelmed, you get to add a card back from your warp to your hand. However, his double strike is not contingent upon him being overwhelmed. So, for example, let's use the example. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Let's use the example. I overwhelm one turn, you know, tap 2, bring this guy out, okay? I get to add a card from my warp to my hand. Let's say I'm adding this Bardock, whatever, that's my one card. Okay, I swing for double strike, whatever, and then at the end of the turn, he goes away, right? Then, later on in the game, I play Dark Plot, all right? And Dark Plot allows me to bring back a creature or a character with the, you know, from my warp and play it for 4 energies. So essentially, I play him, I bring out this Trunks, and it also states that if I choose a card that has the Overwhelm key text, I get to untap 3 energies. So essentially, I'm playing this double strike beautiful Trunks for 1 energy, and it stays on board. Because it wasn't overwhelmed, it doesn't go to the warp at the end of the turn. It's insane, guys. If you haven't done it yet, please do it. For all those Mass Saiyan players, for all those players out there that are playing black cards, this with Dark Plot is amazing. This by itself is amazing. Please, please, please play this card. Get them while you can now. They are starting to go up in value. They're about like $7 or $8 right now. This card was like a $2 or $3 card when it first came out. This is going to be one of the best Overwhelm cards in the game. This card is really good. Just saying. But that's what I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. Thank you guys so much for the support. Continue to like, continue to share, continue to subscribe, continue to give me your feedback, whether it's in the comment section below or the Discord channel. I love hearing from you guys. Feel free to tell everybody and anybody about this channel. We're growing together. We're doing really good things, and I'm very happy where we're at right now. That's all I have for you today, guys. Stay safe out there. Enjoy your locals. You know, gear up for Tournament of Power. If you haven't already joined the giveaway, please do so. You can comment down below with the hashtag Mr365, or you can mention me on Twitter with the hashtag Mr365. You can get all the details in one of my previous videos on the channel as far as giveaway and prizes are concerned. Otherwise, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Be there or be squared.